IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Welcome guys, it's a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and due to various reasons we could not be in the studio, but mind you, we are all three together once again. I think that's what matters, and not being in the studio. So just a disclaimer here, you might hear a lot of rash driving in the background, so please excuse us for that. It will give you a good feel of Avengers, like zoom, zoom. But yeah.
We are just driving around and doing a podcast. This is our mobile podcast first.
Yeah, it's the first one for us. But let's talk about Indian football, and that's what excites us and that's what brings us always together no matter what. Now, yesterday we had two great matches to watch. Kevin must be eager to jump onto the mic and speak about Shillong Lajong's fight against Bagan. But Kevin, I am more excited than you, so please let me talk about Miku here. What can I talk about this guy? But you just can't talk about Miku without mentioning these other two names who always do their best, that is Sunil Chhetri and Udanta. These two guys were instrumental in last night's win against Pune City for Bengaluru. Some tackles there, we also saw a red card, second yellow for Baljeet, and that's a red. But I think Baljeet should have got a straight red for the foul on Udanta. So a lot of things happened. The final score was 3-1 to Bengaluru's favor. Now, since we're sticking to this match, Kevin, let me just start off with this game only, okay? Chiranjit, you saw the match, and how do you think was the game? But I think also Pune were a better team, probably in the first half.
In the first half, definitely they were the better team. They were controlling the ball better. They were creating more pressure. There was a concerted efforts to attack. The midfield was moving excellently, as well as that car right there. And honking less, and also Bengaluru FC were trying to hit back, but you could see that they had a plan for that as well, just to go ahead and just make fouls or just cause disruptions to Bengaluru FC's counter-attacking capabilities, or even the way they try to dominate the midfield. Just by just do tackles. I don't think they cared. I think Baljeet Singh was told that you are allowed to do rash tackles in this game, and that's why he just kept on doing it. He didn't care about cards. He didn't care about anything else. Of course, when you're not playing for East Bengal, you get punished for your crimes. So he got sent off, and that's what was the undoing of Pune City FC. But you have to remember the way Bengaluru FC made the comeback under pressure in the second half, and got those two goals back. The third one was a bonus, but those two goals really, meant the world to Bengaluru FC fans, and kind of shows you exactly how this team works when they are under pressure, when they're cornered, and they're just at a situation where they really need to prove themselves in an adverse situation. So hats off for that win.
Now, yesterday we also mentioned how important the foreign players are for Bengaluru, right? We mentioned these names like Dimas, Miku, Edu Garcia, who didn't start in the last night's match. There were a lot of changes. Even John Johnson was on the bench, but I'm sure I
think if John Johnson started, Pune City maybe don't get the goal,
But I think it's also a tactical change. You never know what, Albert Roca as being the next Stephen Constantine. I think you can't judge his mind at the moment.
No, you can't start John Johnson in every game. The man needs rest too, and they have a very tough AFC Cup and ISL mixed fixture coming up. So they're going to have to rotate from now on so that they don't get into trouble at that time. So, yeah.
Exactly. I think Bengaluru has got the learning. But Kevin, coming to you, the importance of players that we saw. This is a team that shows balance between the Indian contingent and as well as the foreigners. Like just when I started, I said, though I'm a big fan of Miku right now, you can't forget those two other big guys, right? Chhetri and Udanta, because Chhetri got the assist for Miku's first goal, and then he got just like Chiranjeev said, a bonus, and he wanted Chhetri to be on the score sheet, and there you go, he was there. So, I don't know, what else would you talk about this Bengaluru FC team?
The thing is, there's distribution. As we spoke about it yesterday, a couple of foreigners are good, but they're not good in one position. You've got alternatives to give to the coach, and that's what makes the coach's job easier. Now, when you've got an injury concern, you've got somebody to rotate because of fatigue or some reason, you've got foreigners also who can replace each other. So I think that is that is one of the strengths that Bengaluru FC have got in their team, and especially when you've got like for like. When you've got you don't have one and you got somebody to replace him like an Eric, and we've seen Dimas also play various roles in the midfield. So this just gives you versatility in the team and adds to your weaponry. Say you've got a team like somebody who's going to park the bus, so you don't play too many attacking foreigners. You get in Indian players who use most of the wings, and then in the second half you see how the game pans out, and then you make tactical changes. Just like this is an example how you do rotation and how you've got like for like replacement even in the foreign department.
Right, we also saw another foreigner making debut for Bengaluru FC, Braulio, and he had a decent game, right? Yeah. So I think everybody is joining the party and doing their bit. But again, coming back to this point, Ranjit, how instrumental was Edu's substitution and getting him there? Because that's when the game literally changed kind of, and also put Pune in the back foot after the red card that they got. They were one player down.
Yeah, it was one way of beefing up the midfield that really put the pressure back on Pune City, because I don't, just to be, appreciative of what Pune City did there, they were one man down. I didn't see them going defensive immediately. They wanted to just carry on, keep the pressure on Bengaluru FC. To their credit, it was successful to some extent in the first few minutes, and to their credit, it was working. At least in the first few minutes, they were able to put the pressure back on Bengaluru FC and maintain it. I think they even created chances where they could get the second goal. Didn't happen. That one-handed save by Ralte was pretty instrumental. Otherwise, it probably could have ended the game right there. But when towards the end, I think that thought of let's just keep this 1-0 and let's just preserve this lead and get this 3 points, that thought started creeping into their head, and that's when Bengaluru FC started making those substitutions, attacking substitutions that would put pressure on them and outnumber them when they're vulnerable. So yeah, that's what in the end turned it. And also I think after the first red card, the Pune City defenders became much less disruptive because they feared a second reprisal, right? And that allowed Bengaluru FC to find their space even better, and yeah, Edu played into that.
Well, I think talking about match officials, they only get worse, and I think after every game. I mean, there were a few yellow cards given for no reason at all. But we can talk about this on and on, because that just takes away the beauty of the sport that was played. And just like Chiranjit mentioned, we can't take away FC Pune City's show here. The scoreline might not show that, but they really played a good game and probably deserved a win with their first half performance. But after the equalizer, probably deserved a point from this. But hey, Bengaluru FC are not going to give away points easily. Now that brings us to the end, and I think Kevin is going to have a big smile on his face because now we come back to the game where Mohun Bagan played Shillong Lajong and they held on to a 1-1 draw. Now this match is all about penalties because both the sides got one each, and that's how they conceded and that's how they scored. So, but coming back to what Shillong came, I think they had a brilliant attitude here. Yes, Chiranjit would mention that there was no big names like Sony Node or Chroma, but you can't take away Shillong's fight here after having that drab of 5-1, right? Kevin, I'm coming to you. This is all yours. How do you assess Shillong's comeback fight here?
Firstly, I'm a bit disappointed the way Shillong approached this game. Not because they held on to a one-all finish, but I think they could have gone ahead and taken the advantage of that one man being on the field more than Mohun Bagan and gotten that one goal. Because when you start playing defensive, your mind is always, should I make mistakes? Will I make mistakes? And that showed on the faces and the players' performance. What happens is you look at your opponents and start walking towards. So when you start playing defensive, or what goes in your mind is I don't want to make too many mistakes, and that is what in the coach's instruction also it was very clear that he didn't want his players to tried to go put forward the energy and put out the effort to get in that one goal to go and win the game. And when you try to defend against Mohun Bagan, you're always going to be hit. And it almost happened, the way the casual attitude in the second half after Kingsley was sent off. I think there were instances where Lajong just invited Mohun Bagan to come and try and make the most of their casual attitude. So that's where I feel Shillong Lajong wasn't the best of plans that they came up with. Obviously, one away point at Mohun Bagan is always good for any team that comes in, and especially for Lajong, who was kind of hurt from the last big loss against East Bengal. That really has to have your attitude corrected. But somewhere I think I would have expected a stronger fight from Lajong rather than taking that just 1 point from there.
Now, coming back again, Chiranjit, how do you assess Mohun Bagan? Now, this really looks like they really can't make their effort if those big names are not there, but you just can't be dependent on those. I think it's time that they play as a unit, and it did show us. We did see a glimpse of it, but I think Mohun Bagan fell short after Kingsley was sent off.
Yeah, well, Kingsley made a stupid mistake, and I think he's done this in the past. I'm very disappointed in this, the way they performed. We had started so well. Like Mohun Bagan were finding new players who were putting in all the effort. Sheikh Fayaz was making those runs up the right wing. He was drawing so many fouls. That was that showed that Shillong Lajong were under pressure from the very get-go. That's how the penalty was conceded. Right. After that, what happened? Like, where is your finishing ability? Where is your midfield? Are you telling me if Yuta Kinowaki comes back and gets another collarbone broken, then for the rest of the season we won't have a midfield? There was no extra aggression in the second half. After they got 10 man down, I didn't really see them just putting it all out there, because at some point you have to realize that a draw at home to Shillong Lajong, which has not happened in the last few years, right? That's akin to a loss. Okay, you can say that Shillong Lajong are a better side this season than they have been ever before, but still, you're supposed to win these games. That's the reason why they chose to play on a Thursday afternoon in the Salt Lake Stadium, was to put them in a spot where they didn't want to be. They play at a turf at their home. This is a grass pitch, much wider. So they wanted the wings to be usable. They wanted to negate the midfield dominance of Shillong Lajong. But at some point you have to offer parity. At some point you have to try to beat them in their own game. You cannot let a so-called small team dominate the midfield like this against you when you are playing at home. So yeah, there are so many alarm bells going on for Mohun Bagan. I think they need to sign a good central midfielder now that they've let Diogo Ferreira go. It's time to make some course correction, or this is not going to go well.
Well, some harsh critics from both the fans here, but I must say, / experts, I must add. But yeah, it's a fair points out there. I think these two teams need to go back, like we always say, to the drawing boards and come back stronger in the upcoming matches. Now we have 3 matches to look at. 3 matches to look at in total. No, it's 4 matches in total, I'm sorry, to look at during the weekend. We just have one I-League fixture on the weekend, that is tomorrow, between East Bengal and Churchill Brothers. Now, I just have one question, and I'm sure you all will agree to this. Is this going to be another 5-goal thrashing and a win for East Bengal? Because the way Churchill looks, that's how it's going to be like.
Unless Churchill decide to not concede at all from the first minute till the last minute, I think only then we might see a 2-goal win for East Bengal.
Well, I think that's going to be difficult, right?
I have a winning strategy for Churchill Brothers. Go and kidnap Derek Pereira, bring him over, keep him secret, make him do all the preparation for it, for this game. Then you might get a draw.
You'll get arrested for it if there's something happens to that, because you just said on record.
Get a point away from East Bengal for this team is worth getting arrested. It's worth 10 people getting arrested at this point.
Well, I think that just brings us end to the discussion on this match, because that's how it looks. Unless Churchill shows some potential, some fight in any of the matches that they've played, we really can't talk about it. It's going to be a one-sided affair. I mean, look at that bloody strong line of East Bengal, right? Who, yes, Aizal showed. That's because Aizal showed fight, and they are the defending champions. They need to show that fight. But what's Churchill doing here? They really don't have that attitude coming, saying, okay, we might not win, but let's just go for the kill and let's just get some point at least from here. But I think that's lacking.
The worry is the coach's perspective is not clear of how this team can perform to its best potential. Once the coach realizes, I think, in a five matches streak, how many matches can Churchill win and how many goals can you score? And that is how you can shape your team. If you know your team is only going to score 1 or 2 goals in this 5 match coming up, I think he has to shape his team, defense and the midfield in a way that they can contain the pressure coming in from a tough team, from a team that runs a lot. Only then he'll be able to correct one department by department mistake, because right now neither the defense is working well, neither the attack is coordinated. So all he has to understand is how to contain the damage first. At least East Bengal is not going to let you take a single goal away from them. So he should do is try to understand where are the limitations of East Bengal and try to work on those.
I think this is somebody who is coming from having a good knowledge of how Alfred Fernandez is because he had a good conversation with him. I think that, like I said, it brings us to the end of the conversation for this match. But tonight, there's an ISL fixture. We've already spoken about it. It's between Kerala Blasters and Northeast United. If you missed out on it, you can check out our yesterday's episode. Now it's time for a short break, as I've spoken a lot today. So I'm going to take a sip of water and come back. On the other side, we have two entertaining, interesting ISL matches to look at.
Hello, I'm Sanjeev.
And I'm Tushar.
And this is the Rotomouth Podcast, a weekly show where we talk about motors and motoring in India. Cars, bikes, rickshaws, buses, friends, familiars, and time pass.
Find us every week on the IVM Podcast app or any other app you might use. Stuck in traffic? Put on Rotomouth. Taking a while in the loo? Rotomouth is there for you.
Dude, that sounded particularly disgusting.
Thank you. But seriously, catch Rotomouth every week.
Welcome back, guys, and like I said, we have 2 ISL matches. We have 3 ISL matches. I'm so bad at math. So bad. So we have tomorrow on and 2 fixtures on Sunday. Now, tomorrow there's a match between Delhi Dynamos versus FC Goa. Now, Delhi hosting their third home match, if I'm not wrong. They are struggling at the moment, and this particular team from Goa, who's called FC Goa, are not. Because if Churchill is struggling, but FC Goa are not, this looks like Delhi's situation here is like Churchill Brothers.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Delhi Dynamos is the Churchill Brothers of ISL. It looks bad for them, but something tells me that it's not like they don't have the talent. It's not like they don't have the staff. It's a question of not getting the math right, like you. Just not being able to make them work as a unit. If they go ahead and sort of even manage to make a 30-40% increase in the efficiency of the team, they can be a lot better. So I think you can expect a little bit better fight from Delhi Dynamos in this game. Something tells me that they're gonna just try to bring it in this game.
Kevin, do you see that happening, or do you see FC Goa just taking this match once again?
No, see, there is going to be a time where all good things come to an end, and FC Goa, I think it's time that somebody knocks them off, just break their rhythm, and I think Delhi might be just the team. Because the problem here with Delhi, what I feel is the coach has rotated too many players at too many occasions. Trying to get everybody a chance. Sometimes this hurts you in the long run, and that's just what Changte and players like Mira Bahe and these guys are good in their places. They've shown some great promise in their game, and what the coach needs to do is just let them play for at least a couple of matches for longer periods of time rather than just rotating too often. And I think he's already got a gist of what his team can do. What I was suggesting about Churchill Brothers, I think it's similar situation, because the coach needs to understand the potential of the players. Only then you can start playing him into position and sometimes even off positions just to understand what can bring the maximum out of the team. So this might be the game where FC Goa just see their rhythm being broken by Delhi Dynamos.
Goals, Kevin.
Goals hard to come by, but I think there will be maybe a 2-goal game either ways.
I think it's a 1-goal game, whoever gets it.
Interesting. Let's see how that pans out. And we have another game, 2 fixtures on Sunday. The first one, Bengaluru again in action, and now finally they are going to play at home against Chennai FC. And here we'll have Gurpreet Singh Sandhu coming back. And
I thought he was suspended for 2 more games. Huh?
he's done 2 matches. Pune City and Northeast were his suspensions, unless Albert Roca has something in store for us. Like, he's just too impressed by Ralti. He's like, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, take a day off today as well. But here they're playing at home. And they've been on the road for quite some time, but they've got 1 loss and 2 wins away from home, which is a decent record. Now they're back at their fortress, and they'll be wanting to just go all out against strong Chennai FC, who also have found JJ scoring for them.
I just don't. This may be completely unrelated, but somebody, I think we were a little bit drunk at a game. We were joking. And somebody talked about using Gurpreet as a side back who specializes in set pieces, just gets you all the headers. So I just thought, like, yeah, might be, other than goalkeeper, if you're not playing him at the goal, you might as well, use him like that in those situations. It was so ridiculous. We were, I think, laughing for 10 minutes. And it doesn't sound funny now. Anyway, so Bengaluru FC, of course, going back home. Chennai FC are not looking so bad. They can bring the fight here, and you have that Kannada versus Tamilian kind of a thing going on. They're gonna try to call it a derby. Newsflash: it's not a derby, but yeah, it's gonna have that feeling. I'm think the B Stand Blues will try to travel for the first time, and they will try to be there in the fortress and make a noise and all that stuff. The problem is, both the fans are Blues, so which Blue is making more noise. I think we're gonna have a debate at the end of this thing. The B Stand Blues will try to claim all the credit, yeah, whatever. The thing is that Bengaluru FC, the way they look right now is that they have been playing intensely, and I think part of the reason the squad was rotated against Pune City was because of this match, because they're playing like after 2-3 days, so they need some of their players fresh. So John Johnson probably comes back. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu obviously comes back. I don't think the others are taxed to the next extent that they cannot perform to their fullest extent. So yeah, it will be a fresh Bengaluru FC side. So that little bit of advantage that Chennai FC would have wanted, that Pune City would wear them down, that won't be there. And after the performance that Bengaluru put on against Pune City, they will be at the height of their confidence. They will be back home. Chennai FC are in for a lot of pain.
Do we see a good fight here, Kevin?
Definitely. See, I was just coming to a point where we should be taking examples of rotating a squad from Chennai and FC. I think that's the way to do it. And Chennai FC have shown how it's possible to rotate your squad and still be able to grind out results. And Bengaluru FC, what ideas they have? You just seen in the last game, John Johnson how he can be used, and you've got replacement players everywhere. And this is how you approach a longer league. And Churchill and Delhi Dynamos have really to look at these two teams and understand how a squad can be rotated, and yet so there's going to be fight. Well rested players, probably Bengaluru will be the ones who are smarter, because they knew whom they wanted to start in the next game, and that's how they approached Pune City. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a tough fight between both. Yeah, obviously the fans, the Blues making noises, and both the coaches who are tactically very smart. I think it's great.
Okay, now coming down to the number of goals that we're going to see, I'm hoping that you both will see that we'll see a lot of goals, because I am excited for this match.
2-0 win for Bengaluru FC, I think, or 2-1. I want to ask Kevin, do you think Edu starts?
I don't think so, because Roca might just go with their strongest, and I don't think Edu fits in there. we probably see somebody coming in with a hard tackle and just losing the tempo. But no, that's not going to happen. Goals will be there. Probably a 2-1 victory to Bengaluru at home.
Okay.
One special note, I think, when West Block Blues sing, "Oh, when the Blues go marching in," I think B Stand Blues should reply saying, "Which Blues?"
Yeah, I mean, we'll see which blue comes out, emerges out a winner here. But we
Why
have,
do we have so many Blues in ISL this season?
we're just the blue nation, I think. I don't know. Well, we have one more match to look at, which ends the weekend action. It's between Mumbai City and ATK. Now, Mumbai are playing at home once again, and they're taking ATK, who look a bit at back foot here. But hopefully, we see Ryan Taylor starting, and we see some interesting changes from ATK and from Teddy Sheringham, or should I say Ashley Westwood. But Mumbai City are continuing with the good record at home. They've always managed to sneak in or get the 3 points at home. So do you, Kevin, I'm starting with you. Do you see this happening again, looking at ATK's situation at the moment?
I think Mumbai City FC has been the luckiest side in this tournament so far. Somehow they're just able to score, and at the last minute there's something going wrong with the opposition team that they fail to score, and the luck factor has been working for Mumbai City so well. I think it's going to be riding for some time at least before they falter. Against ATK, this side needs a lot of luck, it needs a lot of performance, and it needs a lot more of Westwood and Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, well, we have Mumbai City FC, another Blues, right? And we have ATK, who are having the Blues. We have, I think, Ashley Westwood, former Blue. He's having trouble with Teddy Sheringham. I think the red is the problem here, former red again. But what's going on here? It's a bit of a tussle that ATK are having inside. I think that's what's dragging them down. Even we saw the same thing with FC Goa. When everything is not well in your own dressing room and within the franchisee, within the management, or whatever it is that you're saying, they just go down. Their performance takes a hit. We saw this with Mumbai City FC actually, when Anelka was manager and he was picking a fight with everybody. So Anelka manager, come on, I will never get over that. So
Another blue,
yeah. Multi-level blue. So this problem was I just don't see any indication that ATK have overcome that, which is to say that ATK will not be able to play with their full potential. Also, some injuries are there here and there. Eugene Lingdo is gonna go through surgery and all that stuff. It just doesn't look good for ATK, to the sense that you can say that, yeah, somebody will rise from the ranks and be the leader and say, no, this is where we make a stand. Maybe on one day we will fall and we will finish 10th and still not get relegated, but it is not this day. Something like Aragon, was that Lord of the Rings? So I just don't see any kind of figure emerging in ATK at this moment. So I just don't see how ATK can fight back at this moment. So
now we saw last match for ATK, we saw Robbie Keane in action towards the second half. Now that's an indication that he is gaining his back to full fitness. Do we see him starting in Sunday's fixture?
That's not the question. The question is, will he be able to deliver? That's what he's got in the team for. Starting him does not matter, but will he provide the delivery that that ATK are waiting for a long time? I think goals have really eluded this team, and they're really looking for some inspiration from their strikers. Is Robin Singh the one?
Well, Chanil has told that he's going to score 20 goals, but hopefully he starts on Sunday probably. Do we see him starting?
Maybe. I don't think ATK have any other option left to try out, and they should be desperate for something. Just do anything that works up front. So Robin Singh is in a place where he needs to prove himself, right? So maybe his own personal zeal for getting his form back, getting his place back in the team, getting his stature back in Indian football, all of that will lead him to that hunger that gets him to success. So I don't think they have anything to lose. They might as well start Robin Singh, another former Blue, and hope it works out for them. Yeah.
Talking about goals, Kevin, now both these teams are not known to score that much. I mean, though ATK were some side, but this season they haven't been able to. And Mumbai City always, are, just like you mentioned, are lucky that they get that one goal in their favour. So do we see goals in this game?
Yeah, Mumbai City at home, there will be goals. ATK might just be able to get in one. So it's a 2-1 victory for Mumbai City.
What about you, Chiranjeev?
Yeah, 2-0 probably for Mumbai City. I don't think, Robin Singh is going to score 20 goals. I don't think he's starting on Sunday. But yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it because we enjoyed sitting among, in a parking lot, laughing at things that's passing by, making the weird noises over there. But I hope you were able to hear us clearly, and apologies if there were any disruption. But hey, we've got you the show. I think that's what you guys must appreciate us for that. Now, it brings us, it's time to say goodbye to you guys. And if you did like and enjoy the show, then please show us that. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episode. You can also let us know your thoughts about what you thought about all these games that we spoke about in our comment section below. You can talk to us directly on Twitter, Chiranjeev Toja, Sujumatthew94, Boza_Kevin. We also have something special. You can either look at Chiranjeev's Twitter handle or follow the TFG football Twitter handle for something that's going to come up pretty soon. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the weekend and the matches, and come back to us next week. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, ड्रिंक्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.